Oh boy, it's happening! First and foremost, thank you for listening to the Nina Blanco podcast. I think that's what I'm going to call it because what else am I going to do? Also, let's kick this off in the only way I know how. It's Breakfast Burrito Friday! I don't know how that's going to sound on the microphone, and I'm really sorry if I just killed your eardrums, but had to do it. Happy Breakfast Burrito Friday. It is Friday. Today's an exciting day. It's January 7th, and I have been waiting for this day for exactly 6 months. There's a couple different ways that you can listen to this podcast. There's a couple of different ways that you can watch this podcast. If you're watching the podcast, yeah, it is fully filmed and you can just watch me sit in front of my computer and my dog playing with toys in the background. So if you hear that thumping, that's what that is. And we're just going to try this out in the best way that we possibly can. So it is Breakfast Burrito Friday. That is a tradition that me, Dubs, and Dave did on the Party Morning Show at a radio station that we used to work at, and we were let go from there, but we're going to get into that so much later. But anyway, happy Breakfast Burrito Friday. That's what I was just trying to tell you. If you are watching this podcast, you will see that I do have a list of things that we are essentially going to be talking about just to like help me stay on track, because I tend to get off topic very easily and just go on rants about stuff. So be forewarned that that's definitely going to happen in this podcast, but that makes things more fun, I think. New Year, same depression. Where do I start? This is going to be really tough because I have just been through the most traumatic 6 months of my life. It's been a lot. I'm not going to go through everything in detail right now. I think, those details can be saved for maybe episodes to come. But overall, I will go through basically a list of things that I've been through in the last 6 months. So July 7th was when I officially lost my job, although we were notified a couple days before that. It was like a day or two before my birthday, by the way. Thanks, guys. But I did lose my job. It was July 7th, and now here we are 6 months later. So that's pretty cool. But along with losing my job, I kind of felt a little bit like I lost my identity, which is not what is supposed to happen if you lose a job. But I really love my job, and I'm finding more so now I love my career. Screw the job. I mean, jobs come and go, especially in my industry. But my identity is for sure looped into my career. It is who I am. I love radio. I love entertaining. I love doing this so much. So thank goodness I'm able to do a podcast now. Other things that happened in the last 6 months, I lost my aunt to COVID-19, and that was difficult. I have a lot of feelings about it, but unfortunately, I really can't express them because I'm just going to piss off my family even more. So I guess I'm going to leave it at that for now. We'll see if I decide to get into it, although I know my mother will appreciate if I just don't get into it, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But while I was at my aunt's funeral, I lost one of my most prized possessions. I lost something that is really, really important to me, and that sucked a lot while I'm at my aunt's funeral. And I'm like, it was just kind of like a haze. Like I was just like, what is going on? Is this real? This day is real. This is happening right now. So I lost something, and we'll get into that sometime, I'm sure. But when I lost that and I was at the funeral and I was just going through so many emotions, I had never cried that hard in like years until here it comes, you guys. Until I lost my dog, Chester. Man. I cried about this morning already. Hold on, let me stop. My dog Bonzo is here to comfort me. He's sniffing the mic right now. Thank you, baby. Thank you. I cried about this morning was hoping that would help to talk about it. I cried about this yesterday when I was deciding that I'm going to talk about this a little bit. But yeah, my dog Chester, he was 10. And yeah, he passed away October 29th. And that was just in the middle of a bunch of things that I was going through. All that other stuff that I talked about that had already happened. It was like the cherry on top. I don't know. But like, why did that have to happen? Okay, cool. But yeah, obviously, I still can't really talk about it. Haven't really talked about it a lot. Stop crying. Haven't really talked about it. I emotionally still can't handle it. So I'm doing what I do best, and I'm shoving those feelings deep down inside of me, because that's the right healthy thing that you're supposed to do, right? No. I'm working through it, guys. I'm working through it. Slowly but surely. It's only been a couple of months, and I think that I'm allowed to continue to grieve however the fuck I want to. And it's gonna take a minute. Ooh. Anyway. With all of that, people may be wondering, hey Nina, what's going on with wedding stuff? Because, oh yeah, I'm getting married too. Because of a lot of events, a lot of things that happened. Yes, obviously losing my employment. Had to figure out other things for the wedding. I've gone through a couple different wedding plans, different changes, different things that we're trying to do, switching venues. I was trying to plan a destination wedding at one point because I was just like manic and going crazy. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? And I'm just going to get married in Mexico. But then the logistics for that, I mean, I should have seen that coming. But anyway, we'll get into wedding stuff in this podcast as well. And I'll go through the whole story. Sorry about that breakdown. So yeah, we made it to 2022. It is a new year, same depression, still going through a lot of things, a lot of feelings, mourning, all that stuff. But anyway, on to the next, moving forward. A lot of people have asked, are you going to do a podcast? When are you doing a podcast? Why are you now deciding to do a podcast when it's been 6 months? So have you just been like sitting on your ass for 6 months? I mean, the answer is basically yeah, to be completely honest. But I haven't been able to do anything. I've been laying low because a lot of bad things were happening to me. So I'm like, I need to get out of the world. I'm just going to chill in my house and cry a lot and lay low. But also mostly because I had a non-compete, which I'm not going to get into the details of this because who really cares about the details of it? Basically, I signed a contract. Part of that contract was something called a non-compete that says you can't work for another radio station locally in this area or do things similar to this job. I hired a lawyer. They looked through the contract and everything, and a lawyer told me, you can't do a podcast. It's too similar to your previous job, and you signed this non-compete. So 6 months later, to the day, let's start a podcast. So here we are. That's basically why I couldn't do a podcast. I like being in front of a microphone. I like talking. I like doing this kind of stuff. And like I said, when I lost my job, I felt like I lost part of my identity. And it was because I really enjoyed doing what I do. How many people go to work every single day and fucking hate their job? I've been there. I've done that. I have had jobs that I despise. I've had jobs where I'm falling asleep at the desk. Yeah, boss didn't like that, but it happened. I've had jobs where I get home from work and I just cry because I don't want to be there anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want that to be my life. Yeah, losing the job, it was tough. It was hard. Because that's what I like to do. That's what I want to do. And I did feel like I lost a part of myself. But like I said before, I did realize that no, I didn't lose that part of myself because I do identify in my career. I should not identify myself through my job, whatever radio station that will be. And yeah, I probably will go back to another radio station sometime in the future. I hope so anyway. I really do. And whether that radio station be with a large company, a small company, I have to sign another non-compete. I don't have to sign another non-compete. I'm probably going to do it, whatever it ends up being, if it's the right opportunity for me, but I will definitely go through everything that I just went through and do it again. And you might think that I'm crazy for that. Like, Nina, you couldn't even do a freaking podcast for 6 months because of a non-compete, and you're talking about you're going to sign it again? You'll do that again? Yeah. And it is crazy. It does sound crazy, but I really like what I do. And it sucks that that's just kind of part of it. It's not fair that that's part of it, but that's a big conversation in the radio industry that no one cares about except for other people in radio. So I'm going to stop talking about it. Moving forward. Christmas just passed. New Year's just passed. I haven't had an outlet to talk about these things. So let's talk about Christmas. Christmas is ruined, guys. Christmas was ruined this year. I will not say that it sucked because it was actually really wonderful and you have to take life by stride, especially with where we're at today. But Christmas was wonderful, but it was ruined, the holiday time. Thanks to good old COVID. Christmas was ruined by COVID. And I know what this happened to a lot of people. I know a lot of people who caught COVID a day or two before Christmas. They started feeling sick, so they took a test because they were going to go see family to make sure, and then that test comes out positive. This happened to my bridesman, my cousin. His name is Ruben, and he's also one of my best friends, and he is going to be standing up in my wedding, and he's going to be my bridesman instead of a bridesmaid. But he tested positive on Christmas Eve. I think it was like the day before Christmas that he was going to go and see his parents and see his sister. And it was just going to be an immediate family thing, not a giant whatever, but like still such a bummer. Think about having those plans and then you test positive the day before. Like that sucks, right? So that happened to my cousin, and he was someone that I was planning to see because we took a trip for Christmas.